And another season of the NBA on ESPN is underway.
Let's go!
Deep three. Tyler Hero. Oh, he hit it.
We have a liftoff.
Leonard.
What is good people? Welcome into Hoop Streams presented by State Farm. I'm Christine Williamson. We're getting you ready for the Grizzlies versus the Spurs, the Lakers versus the Warriors. I am not by myself though. I got my friends here with me. Treavor Scales, Arda Ocal holding it down.
What's going on
for
with
30
that?
minutes. We're gonna talk about
man.
hoops. We got Ros Gold-Onwude coming through.
Yes, we do.
Also, just FYI, I got bars.
Oh, okay, all right. I don't
so
feel
You got
like
what?
You could just throw that out
I got
there.
bars.
No.
What?
Bars.
Okay, I see this.
Hashtag bars.
Challenge
That's later
all
in the
of
show,
this.
though. Before we get to that, we're going to do a little NBA rewind, and we're going to do it a little different this week. We're going to look at the whole entire season, best of the season, and we start with best Steph Curry impersonation.
Okay.
January 12th, Lakers at Rockets. LeBron James, he turns his back.
He does,
Explaining
right? And
it,
that's
but,
the one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a technical
No, but yeah.
challenge
technical
there, but
difference.
we're going to get to that in a second.
If I remember correctly, that was the one where Bron puts it up, right?
Exactly.
Immediately turns to the bench and is getting like full shimmy Steph
Yeah.
on the moment
Exactly.
he lets it go.
Yeah.
And like, it's just the epitome of confidence, something that I could always appreciate.
And he actually said the reason he did it is because he had a bet with Dennis Schroeder.
I do
that's
remember that.
right.
I do
Yes,
remember that.
He did
yes.
have a bet. Now, that could have been a Nick Young situation. That could have been, he missed that. That would have been the biggest NBA meme in history.
I feel like you're being wild disrespectful by putting Nick Young as LeBron James.
No, I'm just
It's a
saying.
dog.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, Trev. Can I just say something while we try to get back on track for a second here? Let me just change something just really quick. This game, okay, Lakers Warriors. This is gonna be one of the biggest games of the season.
Without question.
Everyone that did not like the play-in game or the play-in tournament, I should say, sorry. This is the reason you like the play-in tournament.
There's no
Right.
doubt about it.
This
No doubt
game
about it.
is going to be one of the most talked about games. When it's all said and done, even the NBA Finals,
Yeah.
we're going to look back on this game and say this was a great game and this was like super hype.
Absolutely.
One of these teams wouldn't have been playing if it wasn't for the play-in tournament. So let's go to best magic trick.
Is that your best Will Arnett there?
That's how I do magic
countdown.
tricks. April 17th, Warriors at Celtics. Steph Curry,
Oh, come on.
circus shots.
I mean,
I bet
How many
nobody's
times have we
impersonating that
talked
one.
about this? Like, he just shoots wherever and however, and it just happens for him.
there's nothing you're going to be able to do to defend this, right? Like, there's just an understanding that every once in a while he's going to get one of these, and you're going to be helpless on the floor just staring at him making ridiculous
I mean,
shots.
come on.
Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for them to win, but he did have 47 points.
Wow,
in that game.
Christine, hater.
I'm just saying. I'm just giving the facts. Okay, let's go to best poster. And we love to see people put people on posters.
It better be Anthony Edwards. If it's not,
obviously.
Okay, I just wanted to verify, all right?
Like, let's just be honest. Most of the posters are Anthony Edwards. This was Raptors at Timberwolves. And he just, I mean, that's what he does.
I only
Prince.
know Yuta Watanabe because of this clip. I don't know how he should feel about that.
He's even looking around. It's against my Raptors, too, and I'm just, like, impressed. I'm like, what do you do in this
Yeah, dog.
situation?
Yeah, dog.
What do you say?
I feel like he should feel good because, you know, we wouldn't be saying.
Yuta
things
should feel
other-
good?
We wouldn't really be talking about him otherwise.
Yeah, he probably prefers it that way.
Yeah, I don't think he's happy about it at all. I think
probably
he's like,
rather-
nah,
he'd
move
rather-
on, people.
He'd rather not even be seen. All right, let's go to most dramatic teammate. I love a little drama.
I was getting ready to say
This
that. Right up
Am I the most dramatic teammate in this? No, I'm not.
I mean,
January
among us,
4th,
right?
Warriors versus Kings. Draymond directing traffic
Oh,
like
yeah.
an insane person. Like, what are you doing?
It's so extra. Just generally
That's like
speaking.
that's almost like the Dennis Rodman in The Last Dance, like with the clapping and the moving and this and that. He's like on the here and then
Yep.
here and then flip it 180 and over around.
Yeah, but
That's
like
what-
also
this.
Draymond's volume, like he's one of those people that you can watch on mute and just know he's loud. I don't care what he's talking about. He's loud and he's passionate, and I love it.
He obviously was just very frustrated. You know when you get frustrated and you do too much? Doing the most.
Giannis is way more cerebral with his. He's just like, there, go there.
Just super demonstrative and sad. Matter of fact.
That's amazing. All right, let's go to funniest Splash Brother. Which one? This one, January 25th, Timberwolves at Warriors.
Oh,
This
bro.
one's Steph Curry.
Gross.
Yeah, what's funny about that? It's gross.
Literal splash.
So, okay, we're saying funniest splash, brother, because Clay, are we insinuating that Clay said something? Because I imagine that.
I guess, okay, fine. I see the laughter afterwards, so maybe there was a joke there. I just see that out of context, and you're like, Steph's just spitting for no reason.
Fair enough.
Have you ever spit when you laughed? Like, have you ever done that?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, caught slipping. It happened.
We understand
Was
that.
that like just a personal question that you wanted
Yeah,
to throw out there?
because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't know if I actually physically spit
Let me
something out of my
understand you
mouth.
better.
No, yeah, I think that's fair.
But it is a reaction. We
a
see
hell
it
of an
on
experience.
cartoons all the time. That's IRL. All right, worst fake out. This one, February 9th. Knicks versus the Heat. Jimmy Butler going for a loose ball. I actually loved this. And tried to sell the foul.
Oh, yeah, this is great.
He acted like he got poked in the eye. And he actually, I remember watching this and being like, his eye might really be hurt. But then he just was looking
He started
around.
peeking around.
Yeah.
See, this gets a nod for most dramatic teammate in my mind. Like, this is where most dramatic teammate comes in because he know daggone well he wasn't that hurt. Like, he could have gotten up.
Yeah, Jimmy Neymar Jr. trying his best.
Well done.
But
Well
after
done.
it, he said, I've studied Mark Wahlberg and how he acts so incredibly well, and I've taken a few pointers. So that's
Of
what
all
he
the
gets his-
actors,
I was gonna say,
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, like, what kind of random?
I mean,
Maybe it's his friend. I don't know.
Perfect.
That's
No,
kind of
great.
random. For best
Decent inspiration, I guess.
hazing, listen to this.
I would say tonight, but yeah, I gotta rest up. Come on, bro, you on my mic. You on my mic. You on my mic.
Hey, let's save your shine here.
Right, you on my mic.
that could have been a lot worse, though. Let's be honest. Okay, we've seen popcorn in the car.
That's
We've
true.
seen liquids being poured during interviews. Like, that wasn't
To be
that
clear,
bad.
Arda, that may have only been the precipice of like
That's
what
true.
was getting ready to happen to
Okay.
him. You know what I mean? Like that might have
Okay.
been the start. We
Okay.
just didn't see the rest of it on film. You know?
And that's not even that bad. It's like, you had a good game, now we're going to bother you. That's not that bad. All right, best teammates, May 16th, Cavs at Nets, off the Cavs, turnover.
Oh yeah, no, this was insane.
This was the greatest.
Best
thing
play of the year. Did you know that off the backboard pass did not get counted as an assist? That was technically an unassisted basket for one
What?
Kevin Durant.
Really?
Yeah. I was watching the
What?
Nets broadcast and they were going berserk because it was one hell of an assist.
I mean,
What did
but
they
like,
count it as?
there's like,
probably a missed shot. They probably
I
gave
was
him a
gonna
missed
say,
shot
did they count
attempt.
that as a missed shot?
the funny thing is that like the Cavs saved the ball like moments before that,
Yes.
which was in itself impressive. But then the Nets just do like 20 things that are like all worldly,
Right.
and all of a sudden you have like one of the best plays of the year.
No, it's exceptional. Excuse me. I can probably speak English. That would help. Regardless, Christine Williamson, that was fantastic. But I think you got something pretty great as well.
All right, friends, it is now time for the surprisingly great game recaps presented by State Farm.
The way I handle these bars, you would think I'm riding bikes, but I do it for the art, not the retweets and likes.
Yeah.
The story of the first half, Dougie McDermott. He was going from the jump, feeling froggy, no Kermit. Had LaMelo on lockdown like summer 2020. Indy and the blue, but their future looking sunny. Hornets going home, looking back at what was still. The Pacers moving on, you can call it a buzzkill. Game 2 was even better with the Celtics and the Wiz. In the first half, Russ was getting his. But then we hit the third, Jason Tatum was scorching 2-3 in the quarter, out here looking like Jordan. He dropped a 50-piece, one for the books, a true masterpiece, like my bars and hooks. Boston's moving on, so go and place your bets, cause in round 1, they're facing the Nets.
Nah, see, so Christine don't get to just drop that in there and not tease it at the top, right? Like, she gonna say we got some surprisingly great recaps, but she didn't want to mention that Pusha C was the one spitting them.
Yeah,
Is
right.
that what we doing
Christine
now?
Latifah all of a sudden.
All these rap names. I'm obsessed with all these rap names. Pusha C. I like that one. Christine Latifah. I'm actually into that one. I need to do a poll online.
Can we say rapping
what I can
A,
actually-
Christine?
Yeah. I think
Say
you
it.
can.
You gotta
Rapping
say
as
what the
Christine.
A.
That's me.
Okay, cool.
All right, Trev. What do you got going on?
No, like, look, just no holds bars. Christine Latifah is my favorite name for her, and it's sticking forever. But What is not forever are these playoffs, and we will get right into these matchups that we do already have set because the play-ins are concluding tonight, but we do have the, top-seeded matchups to go over. So, Arda, I will give you the first hack at this bracket that we're looking at here. Your 4-5 matchup between the Clippers and the Mavs. Who you got?
Clippers and Mavs. I mean, Luka Doncic is a wizard, isn't he? He's been fantastic all season, but I got to tell you, when you go up against that Clippers team, I know they have some history. I know that there was some history set even in the regular season when it comes to that, 50-point game or whatever it ended up being.
Yeah.
That's the regular season, man. This is the playoffs. And honestly, Kawhi, Paul George, and company, I really see them closing this out. And honestly, I see them being a threat in the West. They could even get out of the West. So I don't think that Dallas will stand in their way. Give me the Clippers.
I'm not going to be against that whatsoever, and I think primarily it has to do with defensively what Kawhi and Paul George can do to lock down Luka Doncic. Now, if we move to this 6-3 matchup, 3-6 matchup, between the Denver Nuggets and the Portland Trail Blazers, I'm going to go Denver, and the reason is simple. Nikola Jokic. It is a matter of him being the reigning MVP. What they have been able to do, aside from the fact that Jamal Murray goes down with an ACL tear and is gone for the season, Michael Porter Jr. has stepped up in a massive way. 25 points, and the splits in those points, 50, 50, and 80, right? Like he's shooting 50% from the field, over 50% from three, and over 80% from the free throw line. They have found a star that is right there on the cusp of being a superstar in Michael Porter Jr., and so that's why I feel that you can slide that.
Every prediction that I have seen for this series has been in 7.
Fair.
Which is very interesting. Obviously, Dame time is all the time.
Yep.
But that defense in Portland, Trevor, I don't know how it's going to hold up against Denver, so that's why I'm with you. Give me the Nuggets.
So I'm going to captain this next one because I owe my Hawks fans everything, right? My fellow Hawks fans know this hustle. We done see any and everybody pick against them. And I understand that the Knicks swept the series 3-0 in the regular season. But you're not going to sit here and act like I'm going to follow logic in something like this. No, I'm not here to do that. I'm here to ride for Ice Trading Gang. I am here to ride for the tattoo that is on my bicep that is State Farm Arena, and I'm going with the Hawks without question because Trae Young is a monster, and you're not going to tell me otherwise, frankly.
You know you're my guy, right, Trev?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
You know that.
Go ahead.
You know that. With that said, Julius Randle has like 90 points and 80 million rebounds and 7,000 assists against Atlanta this season. The best team that he has performed against this season has been Atlanta. And honestly, I'm riding that hype. I used to work for the Knicks. I know those dour days, okay? So I see the optimism that's around this club right now, and I'm like, my goodness, are they going to ride that train? And they have all the reason to do it. And I've said this before, Trev.
Yeah.
They could not win a single game in this postseason, and this season would still be a success, but I feel they might be able to pull off here.
But so I don't think you want to even put that out there because, Knicks fans will be at your neck saying that they ain't got to win one game and then everybody going to be happy. No, you know better than that. Heat Bucks is intriguing for myriad reasons because of the storyline surrounding the Bucks, generally speaking, about their inability to get past the second round of the postseason. And then you look at the Heat, who were decimated by COVID at the beginning of the season, were 13th in the East in February and have since rattled off the best record since then and really come to light as this 6th seed. So who do you have? Actually, I'll give you the floor. Who do you have in this one?
I think it's a desperation for Milwaukee. I think that it is now or never for Milwaukee. I really think that this is a show me, prove it to me, you have to get it done kind of season. Now, I do think that Miami, if you compare both of these teams from last season to this season, I would say that the Bucks have increased, obviously, with Drew Holiday being the key factor there, and the Miami has maybe regressed a little bit. So I would say that the Bucks have the advantage here. But really, that pressure is on them. They have to be feeling it. I still say the Bucks get past this series, but how far they get in the East is a big question mark.
Without question, I will give the nod to the Bucks as well in this series. And Drew Holiday, the name that you touched on, is the key factor. Not only does he implement something defensively against locking down Jimmy Butler, who he's given the fits throughout his entire career, but beyond that, he takes up Jimmy Butler when Jimmy Butler is on defense. So no longer is he able to collapse down with Bam Adebayo and create a double team that becomes incredibly problematic for the Bucks' best player. So I am also going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks. But again, this is what's already set. There are play-ins still going down, and the marquee matchup is Lakers-Warriors.
My whole team ready. Big dreams, big rings, we want it. You won't forget it. We came to handle business.
We look at it as, a game 7 for sure.
My whole team ready. Big dreams, big rings, we want it. You won't forget it. We can't do handle business.
We look at it as, a Game 7 for sure.
We're rolling with a ton of confidence right now.
We have appropriate fear.
Nobody thought we were going to even be in this position. We can come in gunslinging.
Steph in his bag. Deep, like the fries were at the bottom.
We know who the head of the snake is.
He's the best shooter who ever played this game.
James hits it from the outside. Welcome back, King.
He's a different animal in the playoffs.
So when we're talking about the Mount Rushmore, LeBron's going to be on there. Steph Curry's going to be on there.
When the lights are on, I can talk about how great he is till I'm blue in the face, and he do the same. Doesn't change how we approach that competition. It'll make for a good show.
Because it's a big deal, we brought Ros Gold-Onwude to talk about it, obviously. Says Lakers versus Warriors. That game's at 10 p.m. Eastern, but we got to ask you about this. And now, I personally am obsessed with the play-in tournament. I think it adds a little bit more drama, right? A little bit more excitement as we go into the postseason. However, we all know LeBron James was not happy about this at all. So, how much do you think that this will play into him going into this matchup tonight?
And at all with LeBron James right now. At first he had some comments, but now it's all about production. And guys, the Lakers are absolutely capable of going from the play-in to the championship. Let's not forget who we're talking about. This is the same Lakers team that at the top of the season, they just are the defending champions, that we said their roster got better and improved from last season at multiple positions. This is a team that has that experience and confidence. And even through all the injuries they had this season, they still remained a solid defensive squad. When you defend at a high level, you can win in the playoffs. Now you add back a healthy LeBron, a healthy AD, and Schroeder. This is a team that absolutely can go from the play-in to the championship, and there should be no excuses or kind of mental issues made about it.
Ros, before we break down this actual matchup, I just want to ask a question about the situation we're in with the play-in tournament. Steph Curry and the Warriors on one side, LeBron and the Lakers on the other side. Isn't this a dream scenario for the play-in tournament? A situation where you have like a mini tournament going on, best of one, loser, tough situations for these seeds. This seems like it could be like a ratings blockbuster and something we look back on and saying this is a massive success. What are your thoughts?
I barely want to work this game. I wish I could just be with my friends and enjoy it, It is so, I'm enjoying it while I work too, but, it's a different way where you can just be yelling and going crazy. Absolutely, this is an exciting matchup. Steph, LeBron, they got history. They got championships, game sevens, they got losses, wins, heartache, all sorts of drama between them. Even if the cast and the teams are not exactly the same, we know what time it is. These are the two of the greatest players of all time going up against each other, and it's going to be a blockbuster. The only way this doesn't work out is if one of them loses and then loses again. And if we lose LeBron or Steph for the ways of the playoffs, I don't know that this is a good thing. So as long as it's spicy and they both advance, I'm all for it. Because I want to see a whole lot of LeBron and Stephen Curry.
Look, plenty of LeBron is what a lot of people have been getting, especially down the stretch here now that he's back and into his groove. He and Anthony Davis back into the lineup in a healthy way, but I think the focus on that Lakers roster is who's going to be in that 3 slot when it comes to offensive production. Who do you see as the most viable option for LA in that regard?
Right now, the big three for the Lakers right now, it has to be Anthony Davis, it has to be LeBron James, and I'm going to say that Schroeder has to step up. That's got to be their big three that comes up big for them. And Schroeder, we know he's capable. He's had spurts of it, but he's the X factor for me coming into this game for the Lakers. There have been moments that are kind of confusing about what's going on with COVID protocol, his focus, his ability. He's been playing a few games now. Is the rust off? Does he feel motivated, engaged? How is his wind and body? He's going to be a huge key because he's someone that pushes the pace and gets things going for this team, takes some of the pressure off of the ball handling off of LeBron, and absolutely, has a huge matchup in moments when he's up against Stephen Curry. So I find him for the Lakers, if you're talking about who's got to be the big three, they got their big two in LeBron and AD, Schroeder, I think's got to be the guy that, not just for this series, if the Lakers extend on, he's the X factor.
So, Ros, let's look at the other side of the equation then and talk about keys to victory for the Warriors. Obviously, Steph Curry is going to factor into that, but who else are you looking at?
Man, the keys to the Warriors outside of Stephen Curry being dominant, I think, is the Warriors' ability to handle the Lakers' size. You know, it's a real deal having LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Andre Drummond. So the Warriors are going to have to figure this out. They don't necessarily have quite the same bigness about them, but it's going to start with Draymond Green, who is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He's going to start off having some minutes against Anthony Davis, but Draymond could defend everybody. And also, his big thing is he's going to talk everybody through what they have to do on defense. So it's going to be Draymond Green. It's going to be Andrew Wiggins. Time to step up, baby. He earned the nickname Two-Way Wiggins this season. And so he's going to get some key minutes against LeBron James, and that's a big task. So Andrew Wiggins on LeBron, but it's going to be by committee helping against that size. Kevon Looney, he's ready. You know, you might need the energy and the production and just the good hustle that you can get from Juan Toscano-Anderson. He's got to be ready. And then everybody, even the guards, by committee, y'all all got to box out and work on the glass because you got to rebound with the Lakers too.
So there's a lot of things that the Warriors need to do. You know these teams very well. Who do you think, I mean, obviously we want both of them to make it into the playoffs, but who do you think is going to win the match tonight?
Sis, I'm here for the anarchy. I want all the drama. I want the drama. Bring it on. I want big production, fireworks. Let it come down to the end. Stephen Curry going off. The league's leading scorer. He's got major killing instinct. We don't talk about it enough. He's one of the great competitors in this league. If it just is about one game, I don't know that I bet against Steph. And a very momentous Warrior squad won 6 straight. They're good on defense. Players are finding roles at the right time. I got the Warriors over the Lakers in LA.
Okay, in about 9 minutes, we have the Grizzlies versus the Spurs in San Antonio. They got a bunch of old people, so they got a lot of vets on that team, right? But the Grizzlies have a lot of depth. They're young, they're spry. So what is the key for the Spurs, the old heads, to get this dub?
I hate that you Asian everybody. But look, I have a really hard key to the game for the Spurs. They gotta hit shots. It's very simple. You gotta put the ball in the basket. And, you know, you talk about old heads. They are led by a veteran player. I will not call him an old head. But DeMar DeRozan, you know, is the #1 guy for them offensively. And when he attracts attention, he's very willing to give up the rock. So that means others have to be ready to be threats. Patty Mills, got to be ready. And we know Patty Mills has that in his bag, but he's had cold spurts this season. You know, I like the young guy, Keldon Johnson. I think, is he 21? I don't even know. But he's like, he brings so much energy off of his drives, off of his dunks, that can invigorate this team. And then I think one player that is a catalyst for the Spurs and I think can be a true tone setter, even if it's DeMar DeRozan getting the team going with the scoring, it's DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray has the capability of affecting the game and setting the tone on both offense and defense. He's going to be very key to this game for the Spurs.
Speaking of keys, why don't we go to the Grizzlies? How important is Ja to this team in this victory tonight?
Well, Ja Morant makes them go. He makes the Grizzlies go. I mean, literally, he's on the go. He's pushing the pace. He's taking it up the court. He's constantly on attack off the dribble drive, putting pressure on the defense to have to defend without fouling. He's a hassle out of the pick and roll. The only thing that Ja really kind of struggles with, or not struggles with, but it's an Achilles heel, if you will, is the consistency of his three-point shot. So he might see space. He might see the team, you know, leaving him and daring him to shoot. And he's still a young player, guys. So the challenge for him today will be to make the right decisions. When is it time for Ja to go for Ja? And when is it time for Ja to make sure everybody else is involved? Mind you, this is still, you know, a second-year player, guys. Those are tough decisions. And, you know, players that you might want to see get involved are guys like Valanciunas, who's been incredible. You don't even need to give him the ball. He'll go crash the boards and get an offensive rebound. You know, he just puts the work in the paint in Valanciunas and points and rebounds. So I think those two guys can really get it going.
So when it comes to Ja not having to worry about necessarily the experiential factor, right? Like he's been in this stage, this exact setting before, just last year, the Grizzlies be a part of the play-in. How does that pose an advantage for him? Is it that he doesn't have to concern himself so much with just the stage itself and gets to focus on the hoops aspect alone?
I think think being in the play-in, and actually I think losing in it, provides some kind of momentum or some kind of advantage for the Grizzlies, because I'm a true believer that pain is a great teacher. So you'll see this Grizzlies squad that's still young, but they have urgency about them. There is a hunger that they have because they've been here and they've missed this opportunity. And this is certainly a game that's winnable. I also think you look at the other side on the Spurs, and this is a team that did not come into the play-in game with momentum. They finished the season poorly. They've lost 4 straight. They haven't played well. So I think the momentum is all on the side of the Grizzlies.
When it comes to the rest of this playoff bracket that we're looking at, we got the upper seeds set for the most part, and I'm kind of intrigued to kind of go through what Arda and I went through earlier. First one I kind of want to pick your brain on is that Clippers matchup, right? Like, Clippers go in against the Mavs. We know that the Mavs are relying on the superstardom of Luka the Don, maybe some offense from Kristaps Porzingis thrown in there as well. But what defensively the Clippers are able to do poses quite the threat to Dallas. So who do you have in that series?
Well, I'm going with the Clippers. First and foremost, I actually at the top of the season had said the Clippers could come back after that tough bubble performance and win the championship. They're kind of like in the West what I would say the Bucks are in the East. 2 teams that could win it, but we're not really talking about them, Like, they've disappointed us so much that we just know not to get our hopes up with them. But, yeah, the Clippers could win this. Yeah, the Bucks could win this. So, and I followed Kawhi's run. I followed him to the championship with the Raptors and the 76ers. And what I saw in him from the playoffs, I will never forget. I watched a man will a championship. I watched a man take over games. I watched a man elevate and hit contested pull-up jumper, mid-range jumper over mid-range jumper. I fully believe in Kawhi Leonard if the rest of his team is there with him. But on the Mavs side, I've also seen a lot of excitement from Luka. They're a team that, when they're hot, can really shoot the 3. You mentioned Porzingis. You said maybe Porzingis will bring offense. My bigger thing is maybe Porzingis will bring defense. I think he's the key that unlocks their defensive potential because he has the ability to be a rim protector and certainly just be an anchor for their defense.
While we have a couple more minutes, let's pick another series to talk about, Ros. I'm going to point to the Knicks and the Hawks only because I think that was the only series that Trev and I disagreed on. Maybe you can guess why, him being the Atlanta guy and all. I don't know. That might have something to do with it, Ros. Exactly. But from a technical X's and O's perspective, the Knicks have had success against the Hawks this season. The Knicks are riding some momentum, but many say the Hawks are the more talented team. How do you break this one down?
First of all, kudos to the Hawks, to Coach McMillan getting this team to the playoffs, to Trae Young. I think he's in his 3rd year now, getting to the playoffs and the leadership role and just the growth overall. This was not easy. And, they've got a nice mix of shooting and veterans that can help out. I think Clint Capella really anchors them inside and changed what they were capable of as someone who can rebound, who can block, who can, not even need the ball to go and help out and be an addition to everything that Bogdanovich and Trae Young can bring to the table. Nice. I gave the Hawks their love. Thank you. Now let me get to the real party. Let's go, Knicks.
Fine. I'll take it.
Travis like, go.
Okay.
I was about to say, Ros is in New York.
I had to be respectful. Let me give my flowers and respect to the Hawks before I went all the way.
Here come the thorns. Let's go.
Exactly.
Okay, because I'm from Queens, y'all, and so this Knicks team, I have the Knicks doing it. I honestly, I got to find a way to New York so I can be around when, if they win. This is a very winnable series.
Right.
What I saw actually from this Knicks team, they have a defensive identity. Tibbs should be coach of the year. They are consistent. They are gritty. They have multiple role players who can be counted on. Julius Randle has been most improved player of the year and has been on the fringes of the MVP conversation. And then finally, I would say Derrick Rose is a great addition to this team. His experience is going to help him in the playoffs. And he's just been a wonderful, pleasant boost to what this squad can do, plus young guys like Quickly and all of that. This is a gritty, tough, defensive identity, consistent Knicks team. Knicks, baby, all the way.
All right. I knew that. I was actually kind of like, wait, hold up. She's going with the Hawks for this?
Yes. I felt all of that.
Just trying to show Trev a little love. Okay, we have about 30 seconds left. Now we got the vets versus the youths. Spurs versus Grizzlies. Who do you have in this one?
I got the youthful, momentous, young Grizzlies going. They're not even grit and grind anymore, but they're just like young and spry. The young and spry Grizzlies.
Spry. I mean, honestly, that's kind of what we thought last night with the Hornets. You know, they're young. They came out flat as heck. So you know, anything can really happen. They were not ready for the postseason. They don't understand what's going on. This is playoff basketball, even though it's playing basketball. Anyway, thanks so much, Ros. We'll see you next time. We got the Spurs versus the Grizzlies literally right now. If you're watching on the app, go on and authenticate, sign in, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching Hoop Streams presented by State Farm.